The road was a liar. It promised a shortcut, a way to shave a few hours, a long, lonely drive back to civilization. But this road, it had other plans. It was late. The kind of late where the world feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something terrible to happen. Towering skeletal trees clawed at the edges of the narrow asphalt. My headlights cut a weak, trembling path through the oppressive darkness. Every shadow seemed to move just as I looked away. Then the engine sputtered. The car coasted to a stop, plunging me into an even deeper darkness. A faint light flickered in the distance through the dense tangle of trees. The building that emerged from the trees looked like something torn from a half-forgotten nightmare. The sign, hanging crookedly from one rusty chain, read, "The Somnus Hotel," in faded, peeling letters. A single bare bulb above the entrance shadows crawling across the facade. Its windows were like vacant eyes staring out into the endless night. I hesitated at the edge of the clearing, a primal instinct screaming at me to turn back. The forest behind me was a wall of impenetrable black. The hotel, as menacing as it was, offered a door. The gravel crunched under my feet with an unnerving loudness, with tarnished brass handles shaped like sleeping faces. The door swung inward without a sound, gliding open as if welcoming me into its shadowy embrace. The lobby was a cavern of shadows and dust. Behind a long, dark wood reception desk, a single lamp cast a weak, sickly glow. And standing there, bathed in that light, was a man. The man behind the desk was unnaturally still. He was tall and gaunt, dressed in an old-fashioned, threadbare suit that seemed to hang off his skeletal frame. His face was a mask of pale, waxy skin stretched taut over sharp cheekbones. His eyes were the most unsettling part. They were dark, hollow pits that seemed to absorb the light rather than reflect it. When he finally moved, it was a slow, deliberate motion, like an ancient machine groaning back to life.
Looking for a room?
I managed a nod, my own voice caught in my throat. I tried to explain about my car, the road, the late hour, but the words felt clumsy and loud in the oppressive quiet. He didn't seem to be listening. His gaze was fixed on something just over my shoulder, out in the darkness. The board was filled with keys, each one hanging on its own hook, except for one empty spot. He plucked a heavy, ornate brass key from a hook labeled 1313. The tag felt unnaturally cold in my hand, the metal seeming to sap the warmth right out of my skin.
13th floor, stairs are to your left. The elevator is not in service.
I took the key, my hand trembling slightly.
Enjoy your stay.
The climb up the grand staircase was a journey into deepening dread. Each floor I passed was identical, a long, dark hallway, lined with closed doors. The plush red carpet was worn and faded, swallowing the sound of my footsteps. Weak moonlight filtered through windows at the end of each hall, casting long, distorted shadows. By the time I reached the 12th floor, my legs were aching, my breath coming in short, panicked gasps. But there was a problem, a very big problem. The staircase ended. There was just a solid wall where the stairs should have been. I touched it, my fingers tracing the faded floral wallpaper. It was solid, unyielding. There was no 13th floor. It simply didn't exist. And that's when I saw it. At the very end of the hall, almost lost in the shadows, was a single door. It was different from the others, and on that door, in tarnished brass numbers, was the number 1313. But the key in my hand felt heavier now, almost pulling me forward. With a final, shuddering breath, I slid the key into the lock. It turned with a smooth, sickening click that echoed down the empty corridor. The room was wrong. It was a standard if dated hotel room. But the strangest part was the window, or the lack of one. The wall where a window should have been was completely bare, covered in the same faded, peeling wallpaper as the rest of the room. I closed the door behind me, and the click of the latch sounded unnervingly final. I walked over to the bed and sat on the edge. The mattress was hard and lumpy. I wasn't going to sleep. Not a chance. That's when I heard it. A faint sound, a soft rhythmic scratching. I froze, every muscle in my body tensing. But the sound wasn't random. It was deliberate. Scratch, pause, scratch, pause. The bathroom was small and grimy. A single flickering bulb above the mirror cast a ghastly, wavering light. I cupped my hands and splashed the cold water on my face. I looked up, my eyes meeting my own reflection in the tarnished, spotty mirror. My face was pale, my eyes wide with fear, but I wasn't the only one in the mirror. Behind my own reflection, another face was slowly fading into view. A woman's face. Her eyes were wide, dark voids of pure agony. Her mouth was open in a silent scream. I didn't dare turn around. The woman's terrified face in the mirror held me captive. But I knew with a certainty, it was in the room, with me. A dark shape began to resolve, a silhouette indistinct at first, slowly gaining form. Tall, unnaturally thin, limbs too long. It unfolded from the wall, peeling away like old paint, a creature of shadow, dust, rot, no face, a smooth blank expanse of darkness. It took a slow, dragging step into the room. I finally found my legs. Adrenaline surged. I lunged for the main door, fingers fumbling for the lock. The room number, 1313, flashed in my mind. A room on a floor that didn't exist. It wasn't a room. It was a trap, a cage, a feeding ground. I wrenched the door open and stumbled into the 12th floor hallway, not daring to look back. I didn't stop running. Down the flights of stairs, the creature's presence chasing me all the way. I reached the lobby and burst out into the pre-dawn gray. One question remained. If that thing came out of the wall, what was the screaming woman in the mirror so afraid of?